Hi everybody, I just wanted to film a super quick off the cuff, no makeup, no nothing, quick video about Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you, all the solo mamas, all the women considering becoming solo mamas, all the older mamas, all the women considering becoming older mamas, all the women using donor eggs, all the women considering using donor eggs. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. It's Mother's Day today here in Australia, and it's my first Mother's Day as a mum of 2 kids. I feel really emotional about it. Like, those of you who, God, I haven't even brushed my hair before I shot this. Seriously, look at this complete mane. Anyway, whatever. It's all about the feelings. It's not about the looks. Those of you who followed my journey know that really I only ever planned to have 1 child, and it kind of took me by surprise, this feeling that a second child wanted to come in. And I mean, I'd always sensed 2 spirits floating around me. I don't know, you might think that's a bit woo-woo, but I'd always sensed that, but I'd thought the second one would be a grandchild. So I really was only planning 1. And those of you who watch my channel know that when my daughter was, I think, 14 months old, I suddenly got this feeling of maybe having a second one, and I was totally shocked. And then I spent like 8 months working through it, and I made lots of videos on this channel while I was trying to decide. I may link to one up here if I remember to. If not, you can look through my videos and see that there was one I made when I was trying to decide whether I should have him. But anyway, I agonized about it for a long, long time. And after 8 months of that, I decided, oh, well, I'll give it a try. It's a 50-50 chance. I'm using an embryo that was created from a 22-year-old egg donor. So I have a 50-50 chance, just like as if I was 22, even though at the time I was actually, God, what age was I when I put the embryo in? Was I 50? I can't remember now. I gave birth to him at 51. So do the math. I think I might have been 50 at the time. Oh, I don't know. I'm a bit tired today. I can't think about maths. But I'm turning 52 this month on the 25th of May. Don't tell anyone that. It's a bit extreme. Anyway, you know, so I thought I've got a 50-50 chance. I used a 22-year-old donor egg. My 2 babies are full genetic siblings. They both came from the same donor egg, same egg donor and the same sperm donor, and grown in the same tummy, cooked in the same oven, raised with the same heart, on the same land, with the same consciousness, with the same family, with the same community. And I put that embryo in. It was a 50-50 chance, and it worked. And I honestly feel like I'm one of the luckiest women on the planet. Like, honestly, it's very hard to ever feel upset about anything, because I feel like I am the luckiest woman on the planet to have 2 children through just completely the magic of science, using donor eggs, donor sperm. At my age, I had the first one at 48, I had the second one at 51. I feel so privileged, and I feel a lot of responsibility because, you know, I've created these 2 humans. I want them to have amazing lives. I want them to be a gift to the world in terms of their contribution to the planet. I want them to be an inspiration. I want my journey to be an inspiration to other women who might be too scared to try this by themselves or at an older age or using donor eggs. So I do feel a certain weight of responsibility, which is why I make these videos, because I feel like I'm very lucky. I'm very privileged. I'm very blessed that this has happened. Sorry if the video is wobbling. I'm actually holding a selfie stick instead of sitting beautifully like I normally do with it all set up, because I've just done this off the cuff. It's a bit cold here today for once, isn't that a bit unusual? I'm actually wearing something woolly. Anyway, so I feel so blessed, and because of that, I just want to, you know, give back. I've been doing a lot over the last few years to give back to the solo mum community. Have not made 1 cent from it. It's taken all my time, but all my spare time, but I just have always wanted to do that. So I've been making these videos. I have made lots of audios and PDFs and guides and seminars and things to help other women. You can always look for those at mybabydream.club. That's my website. I've been running an online community to bring women together, just doing what I can to support other women who are going down this path, because I just feel so bloody lucky. So anyway, today on Mother's Day is the day where it really hits me, especially because today is the first Mother's Day where I have 2 kids. Last Mother's Day, I had 1 child and had a baby in my tummy, and I was very pregnant, but it still wasn't a reality. And I've been so blessed that it has been an easy ride with 2. I mean, honestly, people ask me literally every single day. Every single day I'm out somewhere and it comes up that I've got these 2 kids by myself, and they say, oh, how are you coping with 2 by yourself? That must be really hard. And I'm like, well, not really. Like, I don't know what to say. It's not really that hard. It's not that hard. I mean, it could be that hard if you know, had very difficult children, or a child who was sick, or, you know, I mean, there's, God forbid, if both your kids were sick, or if you personally were struggling with an illness, or, you know, if you're really, really on the poverty line and really struggling to make ends meet, having to work crazy hours and, you know, didn't have enough money to put food on the table, of course it could be incredibly stressful. Or if you have a child with behavioral challenges. But if you have enough money to survive, like you're functioning, you can afford to eat, you're not like on the breadline. If you have children that are just pretty typical kids, they aren't, you know, suffering terrible ill health or terrible behavioral issues, it's not as hard as everybody has said. It's really not. I think the key is to be a person who knows how to stay calm within yourself. If you can do that, then you can handle the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs of toddler tantrums and 3-year-old meltdowns and babies crying and waking up every 3 hours to breastfeed. Like, it's all about our own ability to self-regulate. Obviously, if you're in an extreme situation, that's different. But if you're just in a normal situation, it comes down to your ability to self-regulate. And I feel like one of the advantages of doing this at an older age, you know, I had my first at 48, my second at 51, is I've learned how to self-regulate. I've learned how to keep myself calm. You know, if I get triggered by something, I know how to work through it fairly quickly. I'm not immortal, I'm not superhuman. I do get triggered. I do sometimes lose my cool. I do sometimes snap. I do sometimes get upset. I do sometimes raise my voice. But I know how to very quickly come back into my center. I have many techniques I've learned over the years. I know how to bring my body back into a neutral place because I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner. I know how to shift my thinking and let go of stories and come back to a neutral place within my mind. I know how to bring my emotions back into balance. And that has made this journey so much easier. If I had done this in my 20s or my 30s, it would not have been as easy. I would have been way more stressed. I've been way more triggered. I would have been losing my cool way more often. I would have been staying, you know, out of my center a lot more often. I would have been a lot more stressed and harassed and harrowed. So for those of you who are watching who are older or who are considering doing this at an older age, this is one of the advantages. We have gone through enough life experiences that hopefully we have learned how to get our shit together a little bit. We may be a little bit more on top of our careers or on top of our finances, or we may have worked through some of the conflicts in our families and created some more harmony in our sibling relationships. I've certainly done that in my case, or in our parental relationships, or in our relationships with our community. Like, we may have cleaned some stuff up by the time we're this age. You know, we may have learned how to handle people and how to handle ourselves. So I think because I've done this at an older age and I've worked through so much of that stuff, all I'm really having to manage is the kids. I'm not having to manage myself. I'm not having to manage my family. I'm certainly not having to manage a partner because there isn't one. So that helps. So it's just me and the kids without any drama. And I think the lack of drama is one of the reasons that I've had an easy run. And I've done a lot, which I've talked about in other videos, to make sure that my older daughter, who's now 3.5, has never felt threatened by the baby, doesn't feel like anything's being taken from her. She just sees him as an addition to her life. So even now when he's nearly walking, I mean, I would have put him in this video actually, but he's asleep and I just spontaneously wanted to film it while he was asleep, and she's busy playing. So he's not in the video, but if you saw him, you'd see he's almost walking. Like, he's 11 months old now. He's cruising. I might stick a photo in of the three of us and just show you where he's at, but he's so cute. He's cruising everywhere, you know, he's crawling after her toys, he's climbing all over her. Like, every now and then she goes, oh, stop it. You know, or she moves away, but she really, like, adores him. He doesn't really bother her. So that has really helped, taking all those steps I took to make sure she was prepared for the birth of her sibling and making sure that her life has not been unduly changed by his arrival. Making sure that she still gets all the same cuddles she used to get. She's still going to all the same activities she used to do. She still cuddles, falls asleep in my arms every night like she always did. Like, those things have made a huge difference. So she doesn't feel jealous. She's not threatened. So she's been at peace with him. So really, all I've had to deal with this past year, apart from those first 6 weeks where you don't sleep when you got a newborn, I mean, that was very hard. But once we got through the newborn period, the rest of the time has been easy. And honestly, the only thing I've had to deal with is normal 3-year-old stuff, like them learning to use the potty or them having meltdowns or tantrums, and it was all the normal 3-year-old stuff, which I would have had to deal with if I did not have a second. I don't feel like it's been any harder than it would have been. So I'm very lucky. I do have a very easy baby. He's very, very chill. He's an absolute sweetheart. He's the most cuddly person. I love it. He cuddles me and he puts his arms around me and I'm like, I'm so in love with him. And you know, I really was wondering and worrying before I had him, will I love him as much as I love my daughter, because I'm so obsessed with her and she was like the biggest miracle of my life. And we were so like this for the first 2.5 years before he was born. I really didn't know could he crack into our little duo. But he has. I've just fallen so deeply in love with him. I love him so much. So if anyone's worrying that you're not going to love your second child as much as your first, you will. It may take longer. It may creep up on you, but you will. You will fall in love with that child. And right now on Mother's Day, my first Mother's Day as a mum of 2, I can honestly tell you, I love these 2 children so much. I could not possibly love them anymore if they were my own biological children, or if they'd been cloned from my rib. If I'd cloned them from this rib and they were like fully mine genetically, like mother and father side from my rib, which obviously is not physically possible, I still couldn't love them any more than I love them. So if you're worried about using donor eggs and it's not my genetics, or donor sperm that's not your husband's sperm, I mean, don't worry about it. You will love your children. It will make no difference in how much you love them and how close you feel to them, how connected you feel to them, how much you know them. You are spending all day, every day with these people from the second they're born. Like, you know them more than you've ever known anyone on earth. They know you more than they'll ever know anyone on earth. Like, it is the deepest bond you could possibly have with another human. It does not matter whether they're related to you genetically or not. I mean, it matters for other things, but it doesn't matter for your bond with them, for how much you love them. Or not in my case. I can honestly say I could not possibly love these 2 children anymore. I'm just so grateful for them. On this Mother's Day, my 3rd Mother's Day since I've had my first child, my first Mother's Day with my new baby, I'm honestly feel like the luckiest woman in the world, and I just wish all of you so much joy on your path wherever you're at. If you're just thinking about doing this, or if you've already got grown children and you're watching this, like wherever you are on your mother's path, on your mum path, I just want to wish you happy Mother's Day, so much love, so many blessings from my family. Bye.